My name is Chris V. Originally from New York. I'm 41 years old and been in Miami for almost 15 to possibly 17 years. I lose a little bit there because when you get caught up in life, life goes so quick. But we also forget the impact we make every day as we live. What's my stick? I'm basically a regular dude, has worked many types of jobs, but the thing is I find beautiful is life. I have met people from all types of forms of life, different walks of life, different parts of life, and one thing is consistent, that every individual is different, magnificent, and wonderful in their own way, but have stories. And just saying hello to them could open up the journey to something great, like getting information from them that implies to you, but encourages stories that you hear that encourages you to live, and your stories encourage others to live. The message is clear: live, be yourself. Don't be afraid of who you are, because you're going to have doubts about who you think you are without realizing being imperfect is what makes you perfect. Like me, I could tell you stories that will drive you nuts, and stories that you sit there and say, man, what a journey. But the story that you got to remember is the story you're building. Every individual you meet in this life is important. Mr. Andrew, you got a question for me? Go ahead. What's important is communication. Communication is key to everything. And every time you speak to someone, it's an opportunity to boost your communication skills. But not only that, it's the impact you make in that person in conversation. Like even throwing this up in a random conversation or random walking, you don't know who that person is, but throwing this up, which means I love you, can make the difference in that person's day, because someone's either suffering from depression, they're probably doubting themselves, they're mourning someone in the family, they probably came out from a bad breakup. But here's the thing that you guys got to remember. These things happen for us to get better in life, to learn from life, to encourage each other to keep going. But also bad things are good things, because these are lessons learned to elevate us to the next chapter. Say you failed the class and you're down, but without realizing you failed for a reason, for you to boost yourself up, to encourage yourself to work harder, to learn the things that you misstepped and that you made, the mistakes you made, for you could fix it. But not only that, learn from it. The same applies to a relationship, friendship, even common things with arguments with friends, that you sit there and you disagree with them, but you're learning how to be tolerant and learning how to navigate the conversation, but also getting their point of view in things and apply yourself. So you asked me very clearly, why am I kind? Because you don't know who's going through what, that a little bit of love, just saying, hey man, stay awesome. Hey, remember you're wonderful. Hey, dude, you got this. You're a king. You're a magnificent queen. The time you spent with somebody is precious. Even 5 minutes of just saying hello or standing across the room looking beautiful and magnificent, even if you had the longest, worst day, probably encouraged the dude from across the room who didn't have the courage to say what's up to you, but left them in such an awe and such an inspiration. They started changing their life. They started working out. They started learning how to cook. They started learning how to clean. But because they didn't approach you, it stayed in their mind and it made them better every day. And next thing you know, they met someone along the way that just came out of something really horrible, a horrible situation. And because of their encouragement, they didn't have to approach you. They approached them. They started talking, and they found a love that they cannot deny and even fathom in this world. All because you went out to go have a good time. Your boy's having the worst day in the world, and you pick up saying, yo, dude, come over, have a couple of drinks. Next thing you know, those couple of drinks were a magnificent time. But because you picked up that phone, that dude that was at home, that was depressed, you saved a life. Very, very plainly said, every action you do makes an effect. And every time the act of kindness you do is way more magnificent and way more impactful than you could imagine. But also, don't forget to make time to love yourself. That's what I do. I give you guys all the love every day I can, but my days off, dude, I'm off. I chill, I play my little video games, I have my little adventures. I wake up the next day, where the fuck am I? And those are the adventures that we live, and it's all about, which is your life. It might not work for them, but it might work for you. Your parents, they come out with great messages, but also remember, they live in a time where it was different from today. Don't be afraid to live your life, because your life is important. Because the next thing you know, when you sit there and you say your life is insignificant, I want you to remember, you have the power to change that. You feel like something is wrong? Great. How about we get up and try to make a change? Work out, learn how to cook, learn how to clean, talk to your boy, reach out to your family. Or simply put, don't forget you're awesome. Because if you go for a job that pays really good and you feel like it ain't working out, don't be afraid to have the strength to start over again. Learn the things that you learn from one place and apply it to others, and you'll grow. Because in the end of the day, there ain't no point of getting a big house if it's empty. But then you having a small crib with people you live, man, you're richer than you could imagine. That's pretty much what I do every day, is live and enjoy life. What's the point of questioning it when you don't even live to today? My message is clear. Stay fucking awesome. You're magnificent and wonderful. And remember to enjoy this life. Anything else you got for me, my brother? Well, here's the thing. This is your journey in your life. I can't control the way you feel, but I can encourage you and remind you of this. You're at your lowest point, look at the people around you. You think you don't got people you love? How about you reach out and call them? How about you reach out and tell yourself and look in the mirror and ask yourself the most hardest question? What are you doing about it? It's quite simple. You're in charge of your happiness, because the minute you feel sad, you have no idea who else is going through the same thing. But if you got up, got out that door, say what's up to somebody, start working out, start cooking, start cleaning. These things are basic things. I know I've repeated a lot, but try to understand like this. The reason when you start moving things and you start moving around, even having a pen, you're giving love, you're teaching yourself how to love. You're teaching yourself discipline. Cooking and cleaning is essential. Why? Because if you could do simple tasks like that, that means a paperwork or a job is easy. Self-depression is real, but also it's able to be fixed by simple things. Is getting up, looking in the mirror and telling yourself you're okay. Because the mind is always going to tell you negative things, but here's the truth of it. It's because every individual meet is a perfectionist. You're too perfect for your own good, but you're forgetting. Aren't the most beautiful things imperfect too? Like that wild time you had with someone that you don't even remember, but you remember the feeling. It's not about what you do or what you say. It's how you make people feel. But it all starts with you. You got to remember you are awesome. But the thing is, you got to get up and do the hard work. And the minute you say you're unhappy, here's a trick. Call your parents. Call your mama. Call grandparents. You got a pet? Get one. Get a cat. Get a dog. Call your neighbor. Yo, neighbor, que bola, Seda, what's going on? That's Spanish slang saying how you doing. When you start applying things like that, just a simple wave to a random person every day, slowly but surely that random person starts feeling comfortable asking, why are you doing that? You simply say, because I had a bad day, dude, and I just wanted to be kind. Be honest. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't look at tragedy as the worst thing. Look at it as an opportunity to grow, because when you go through something, now you know the lessons that how you feel, you can share it with someone else. You failed? Cool. Tell your boys and your friends about it. And next thing you know, you're sharing information how to grow. Some mistakes are needed to grow to be successful, many more. The great Alexander nearly conquered the world. But you're forgetting the teacher he had was actually not, was kind of a failure in times too, that he messed up in life, and he was able to teach this kid how to do certain things. And next thing you know, he made friends that were his generals, his soldiers, that fought for him and believed in his cause. The same applies to you. You don't have to be a celebrity, but you could be the person that that person leaned on, and because of you, they're changing the world, because you changed their world by simply being there, picking up the phone, talking to them. So I'm going to say this one time, and maybe 1,000 times, even 3,000 times. You're awesome and amazing. You're not alone in this world. You got this, and if things get rough, great. You get back up and do it, because you are important. You are loved, and you are special, and above all, you are awesome. Love you, man. We're good? We're good. I hope that was great, my brother.